Here's a question most people never ask until it's too late. What if the biggest financial mistake in retirement isn't about how you invest, but when you withdraw? Between the ages of 59½ and 73, there's a little known window where the government gives you a rare gift, complete control over how much tax you pay. You can withdraw money from your retirement accounts without penalty, but before required minimum distributions and Social Security kicked in. It's the perfect time to strategically lower your lifetime tax bill, reposition assets, and secure your income for decades ahead. Yet, most retirees completely ignore it. They coast through their 60s thinking they're being smart by delaying withdrawals, but in reality, that decision often leads to tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes down the road. And this isn't theory. I see it happen to diligent savers all the time. People who did everything right during their working years, only to watch the IRS take more than their fair share in retirement. And the saddest part, it's completely preventable. Hi, I'm Scott Beasley, Certified Financial Planner at Gateway Financial Partners. If you're between 59½ and 73, you're standing in one of the most overlooked opportunities in retirement planning, what I call your tax control window. This period gives you the ability to choose how much tax you pay, when you pay it, and how to create lasting tax-efficient income. But miss it, and the IRS, not you, will decide your fate once required minimum distributions begin at 73. In this video, I'll walk you through why this decade matters so much, what happens if you ignore it, and how to use it to create more control and less tax in retirement. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more clear, data-driven strategies to help you retire with confidence and purpose. If you want help applying this to your situation, use the link below to book time with me or book a free consultation. The forgotten decade of tax planning. At age 59½, something big changes, and you can access your retirement accounts without that 10% penalty. But here's the key. You're still years away from being required to take money out at age 73, and you might not yet have Social Security or pension income flowing in. That means for roughly a decade, you control how much income tax shows up on your tax return. You can decide when and how to withdraw from your IRAs or 401ks, shift funds into tax-free accounts, or fill up lower tax brackets on your own terms. This is what I call your tax control window, and it's one of the most valuable opportunities in retirement planning. Yet most people let it pass by unused. They think delaying withdrawals is always smart because it lets the money grow. But the truth is, growth inside a tax-deferred account is just a tax bill that's compounding. Every dollar you don't strategically plan for today becomes a future problem when the IRS starts forcing withdrawals through RMDs. 2. Why doing nothing costs so much. Let's look at an example. Imagine you retire at 60 with $1 million in traditional retirement accounts. You decide to live on cash savings until your RMDs start at 73. During those 13 years, that $1 million grows to about $1.5 million with moderate returns. At 73, your first RMD could easily be $60,000 to $70,000 on top of your Social Security and maybe other income sources. Suddenly, you're in a higher tax bracket, possibly 24% or 32%, when you could have been in the 12% or 22% bracket earlier. But that's not the only problem. Higher RMD income can also push you into Medicare IRMAA surcharges, costing you hundreds per month in extra premiums, make up to 85% of your Social Security taxable, and disqualify you from certain deductions or tax credits. That's how retirees accidentally lose that $100,000 or more over time. Not through market mistakes, but through tax timing mistakes. By waiting too long to act, they run out of room to control their income. The IRS takes the steering wheel, and you're along for the ride. 3. What the wealthy do differently. Now let's look at what proactive retirees and high net worth families do instead. They use this tax control window to start planning before the IRS forces their hand. Here's what that looks like in practice. First, they identify their low income years, usually the early 60s, right after retirement, before Social Security begins. Second, they use that time to do Roth conversions, moving money from tax-deferred accounts to Roth IRAs. Let's say you convert $50,000 a year for 10 years. You'll pay taxes on those conversions now, likely at lower rates, and shift that money into a Roth IRA where it can grow tax-free for the rest of your life. Now, fast forward to age 73. Your RMDs are smaller, your taxable income is lower, and more of your portfolio is sitting in tax-free accounts. Over a 20-year retirement, that could easily save you $100,000 to $250,000 in federal and state taxes combined. Third, they coordinate these moves with other timing decisions like delaying Social Security or carefully managing taxable investments to smooth out their income curve. And because they took advantage of the lower brackets in their 60s, they avoid the tax avalanche that hits most retirees later. 4, the use it or lose it nature of this window. Here's the catch. Once RMDs and Social Security begin, you lose much of your flexibility. Your income starts flowing automatically, and even a small Roth conversion or withdrawal can push you into a higher bracket or trigger Medicare surcharges. And that's why this window, roughly 59½ to 73, is so powerful. Even modest conversions, say $30,000 to $40,000 per year, can dramatically reduce your future RMDs, stabilize your tax rate, and improve your legacy planning. Think of it like this. You're paying some tax now on your terms to avoid much more tax later on the IRS's terms. It's a simple trade-off, but only if you plan ahead. If you wait until your late 60s to think about it, the opportunity shrinks every year. Once RMDs start, that window slams shut. 5. How to start planning your tax window. If you're between 59½ and 73, here's a clear starting point. Step 1, estimate your future RMDs. Use your current IRA or 401k balances, assume modest growth, and see what your required withdrawals look like at 73. Step 2, map your income sources. List when your Social Security, pensions, and investment income will start. Identify the quiet years before those income streams begin. Step 3, fill your lower bracket strategically. If your taxable income is lower now than it will be later, consider partial Roth conversions or planned withdrawals to smooth out your tax burden. Step 4, coordinate across your plan. A well-structured strategy considers not just taxes, but how withdrawals affect Medicare, estate planning, and portfolio longevity. Step 5, revisit annually. Tax brackets change, so do your account balances and your life goals. Make this a yearly review, not a one-time project. The wealthiest, most tax-efficient retirees I work with do this every single year. They don't wait for the IRS to dictate their income, they design it intentionally. The bottom line is the years between 59½ and 73 are your greatest opportunity to take control of your retirement taxes, or your greatest risk if you ignore them. Doing nothing often feels safe, until you realize it quietly costs you 6 figures in avoidable taxes, Medicare surcharges, and lost flexibility. The good news, this is one of the few areas of retirement planning you can still influence directly if you start early and act strategically. If you're nearing retirement and want to make sure your strategy supports your goals, values, and long-term income needs, let's connect. Click the link in the description below to schedule a conversation and book time with me or a free consultation.